This episode was made possible thanks to generous supporters on Patreon. Good day, guitar fellows, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Zerner's Guitar Lab. Ornaments are something that's usually way overlooked by many guitar players, and the truth is that a tasteful use of embellishments can make your guitar playing sound more professional immediately. If we engage some of these over a simple melody like Happy Birthday, they will immediately make it sound fancier. So here's the melody without any ornaments. And now the same melody with ornaments. What I did here is the following. I start with a slide. And of course I add vibrato almost everywhere. And here I use ornament to approach this note from this note. And also I do a small bend to approach this note on the next string. Then I follow the same logic. Slides here, ornament up here, and finally a small bend. And further, here's a long slide, which adds a little bit of drama. And here I add just a very tiny partial pinch harmonic. And again ornament. And the same small bend at the end. All of these ornaments names actually exist in classical music, and their names come from Italian or German because these are the cultures that influenced a lot the Western music. So I will mention the original names along with the ones that are currently in use in the modern music. The first one is of course the vibrato, which is Italian term vibrato and comes from the verb vibrare, which means of course to vibrate. And the French term is similar, just the accent falls on a different spot, so it's vibrato. And in German it's again vibrato. Usually it's just a series of small bends, half step, sometimes wider, like a whole step. And with players like Yngwie Malmsteen or Steve Lukather, it can go up to minor third and adds a lot of expression. Trill. It's another term which comes from Italian. Trillo means to ring. This time the French term differs a little bit. It's a tremblement, which means to shake and the German term is Triller. One very good example of using trills in guitar playing is John Petrucci, for example. He uses them quite a lot and he does them quite fast as well. The next one is the Mordent. It comes from the Latin term mordere, which means to bite. And of course the Italian term is very close to that, since Italian derives from Latin. And the Italian term is mordente. The French term is mordant, and the German one is mordent. This is the embellishment that you probably use without even knowing, or it's just a quick hammer on and pull off to the neighboring note, upwards or downwards. So when it goes upwards, it's called upper mordent, or in German Pralltriller, or when it's downwards, it's called lower mordent, or the German term is just mordent. The next one is called turn, and it's the following thing. The Italian term is actually gruppetto, which comes from the idea of small group of notes which are surrounding the notes that we want to play. And the symbol that you can see here actually visualizes the direction of the embellishment. It goes upwards and then it goes downwards and then it ends to the target note. If we want to go from this note to this note, we actually do up, down, and finally land on the target note. The next one is slide. This is something that I'm sure that you're familiar with. The Italian term is glissando, which means to glide, actually to slide over the string. The French term is glissando, and the German term is just borrowed from the English, so it's the same, slide. The next one is portamento, and here all of the three languages have the same term. Portamento in Italian, portamento in French, and in German, portamento. This is the thing that we know as bending.
Side note.
Many times people use glissando and portamento interchangeably, but this is not quite right, because glissando is the same as portamento only in instruments like the piano, where you can't actually bend the pitch. But when it comes to singing or violin or instruments like guitar, where you can actually distinguish the two techniques, then it's different. So one needs to be careful when using this terminology. The next one is called appoggiatura, and in French it's porte de voix, which means carry the voice. The German term, again, it's a little bit more technical, and it's called Vorschlag, which literally means before stroke. This is not exactly an ornament, but this is more like a compositional approach when you need to delay the resolution to a certain note just a bit. If I use the same Happy Birthday melody, for example, if I want to delay a little bit the resolution here on C sharp, I would use this appoggiatura like that. And the last one is called acciaccatura, or in German Zusammenschlag, which literally means together stroke. This is something that I'm sure that you're also familiar with. Or it's a very short preceding note that serves as an introduction again, and you can hear it quite a lot in players like Joe Satriani or Joe Bonamassa, and generally blues guitar players. Here are some bonus ornaments that I want to share with you, and the first one is the so-called pre-bend. It's something that you can hear quite a lot in Marty Friedman's playing. It's actually consisting of pre-bending to the desired pitch, then hitting the string, releasing, and then bending again to the same note. I used this in my song Memoirs of a Geisha. It adds very specific exotic sounding because it's a very typical articulation for a Chinese string instrument called gujiao, and their bending the strings happened very naturally, and this is why it's implemented in the traditional Chinese music. And every time you use this type of bends, they immediately sound a little bit like the Chinese music. And the second bonus ornament is what I called the double bend. This is something that you can hear quite a lot in David Gilmour's playing, and it's actually bending to a desired note, then bending even more to get to the next note.
Exercise!
Today's exercise for you is again to pick up a very simple melody and to try all of these embellishments on every single note of the melody and to see where they fit and when they don't. And this is how you will gradually develop a feeling how they are used for natural spicing up. Let me know in the comments below which are your favorite ornaments and why. So that's everything for today's episode. I hope you guys find it useful. Thanks for watching, and if you like my work, consider supporting me on Patreon up here or on the links down in the description. Also, click like, subscribe to my channel, click that bell button to get informed when I upload a new video. See you next time, and remember, practice makes perfect.